So we're going to start lying down. I'll be here for a little while. So maybe think about having your bolster behind your knees. You could use one blanket as a little pillow. You could use the other to cover yourself. You could use your eye pillow if you want to. So get yourself really nice and comfy. Oh, an extra blanket. Oh, and your own iPad. There's a pro over here in the room, guys. Yes, it's like, can I sleep in? So take your time. And then even when you feel like you are in a nice, cozy, comfy, warm position, perhaps just think about having a little scan through the body. So from the soles of the feet, all the way up to the crown of the head. Is there anything that you would like to change, that needs to be adjusted? Perhaps you've closed your eyes, perhaps you've covered your eyes with the eye pillow, or maybe you're just softening your gaze. So if I've not met you before, my name's Karine and this is Yin Yoga. So Yin Yoga isn't a lineage of yoga, so it's not like Ashtanga, Iyengar, Hatha Yoga. It's pretty modern, in fact, in terms of yoga. It's very different from your more active styles of yoga, like vinyasa. So rather than our shapes being held for a couple of breaths, we hold our shapes for a couple of minutes at a time. It's a really good complement to more active practices, to an active lifestyle. So it offers a space of body and space of mind, both of which can be a challenge sometimes. So as we go through the practice, I'll explain a little bit more about what yin is. We tend to use quite a few props for our shapes. You might find your breath is slower, is deeper. You might find your exhale is a bit more of a sigh. So please don't feel that you can't breathe loudly. I love hearing a good loud breath. But as with every practice, it's about you listening to your body, you connecting with your body. If something doesn't feel right, that's okay. You can take a different option. You can maneuver out of the shape. So it gives us this space, this opportunity to really listen in a world that is busy, it's bright, it's just rapid in how it moves. This is our time to slow it all down. And it is World Kindness Day today. So to begin the practice, you might want to bring your hands onto your heart space. Or you could have left hand on heart, right hand on belly if you feel that's more comfortable. And an invitation to offer yourself some kindness. So maybe there is a word that you could use to describe yourself. Maybe There's a statement that you could say about yourself, a kind statement. We're often quite critical about ourselves, but we could easily say something kind about someone else in a room. So let's start with us first. If it's a challenge, that's okay. Maybe just dig a little bit deeper. We all have amazing qualities. What is something that you could say about yourself? Some kindness that you could give to yourself? And in a moment, take a nice deep breath in through the nose, sigh it out of the mouth, and just imagine that you extend your kindness, perhaps to your neighbor, your yogi neighbor, perhaps to everyone else in this space, or even further. You know, the world could do with a little bit more kindness. Maybe we expand it right out. And that could be your focus, your anchor, your guidance through your practice. So holding positions for minutes can sometimes mean that boredom kicks in. Can sometimes mean that the sensation is quite strong and we start to think, oh, I don't really want to be here. What am I having for dinner? Or what did Sue say yesterday about, you know, that other woman? All of these things. That's fine. That's monkey mind. That is part of the human brain. But having something that we can draw back to, especially in Yin Yoga, is a really useful tool. So you could just draw back to the breath. Just when you notice, oh God, I've switched right off out of here. Nice deep breath in and out. You might bring the hands back to the heart or the awareness to the heart and think of that kindness. You might bring awareness to a part or area of your body where you're experiencing sensation. Not everything is going to be like, whoa, sensation. Some things might be. Other things may be more subtle. It's about finding your edge. What are you wanting to feel and experience? Let's just start with a nice full body stretch. So take the arms overhead, point the toes. If you've got space, you might take the arms and legs a little bit wider. In Yin, this star shape's called pentacle. And then draw the knees in towards you. Someone just get their feet tickled. All part of the practice. Bring your knees in towards you. You could catch hold of them, or you could catch hold of your clothes, or just let your knees rest into the body. It might feel quite natural that you just start to rock from side to side. So it's actually a self-soothing technique for adults. Unlike when we're babies, we generally don't get as soothed, do we? So we can self-soothe. Let's pop the feet down onto the ground. And you should have a strap close by within your reach to right or left. We're going to unravel that strap. And try and think of slowing everything down. So today I was practicing walking slower, and honestly, it was like a revolution for me. I'm pretty sure no one else found it great, especially if they're walking behind me. But it just felt so much calmer. I could like look at other people, like a smile at them. I didn't feel like I was rushing. So really just try and slow the pace of everything down. Let's bring the right knee in towards us. Just give it a little gentle squeeze of encouragement. And then we're going to keep that knee in towards us as we reach the strap. Hold each end of your strap. You might need to lift the head and shoulders, take the strap around the arch of that right foot, lower the head and shoulders down, breathe in, draw the knee in towards you. Breathe out, slow as you can, let the strap slide through the hands, start to extend that leg. You might have a bend in the knee. Try not to wrap the strap around the hands. So that's quite yang, which is the opposite to yin. That's quite like, oh, I'm forcing and I'm pulling. Slide down the strap so that your shoulders and maybe even your elbows, this will depend on the length of your leg, meet the earth. So our intention here is much different than maybe if we've done this position in a hatha class. We're going to be holding it for 3 minutes. So as you set yourself up, start to just feel into, have I gone into this too fast and too strong? If we were looking at our position where 10 is like our max expansion and extension, we want to begin in the first minute around 4. We never reach 10. Definitely not in Yin. We reach maybe 6 or 7. Take a nice deep breath in and out. Soften the face, soften the shoulders. Maybe soften the eyes. And remembering at any point, you can anchor yourself back in. In honesty, when I first started practicing, I absolutely hated it. I practiced it because it was kind of advised to me by the person that I knew in well-being. It might be quite good for some trauma that I've been through. And I just thought, oh, no, this is awful. Like, why do I want to just be still, rest with my thoughts? But now it is my favorite practice. It's been my favorite practice for years. It's very much linked to Eastern wisdom, Eastern medicine, traditional Chinese medicine. The type that I teach is called 5 element theory, which is linked to the seasons and the 5 elements. Part of our practice is stillness. But this isn't to say that once we get into any shape, we're like, right, you have to be still. Nothing is completely still. It's more about letting go of that urge to fidget. So sometimes we fidget to avoid. Can we just be as still as possible? Less than a minute left. So in that last minute, you might decide that your edge has changed. There may be a bit more space. There may be a bit less space. You are in control. I cannot experience what it's like to be in your body. It would be really useful to be able to experience that as a teacher, but just checking that you're not furrowing the brow, clenching the teeth, holding too tightly, grasping too tightly. Last couple of breaths. The way we come out of our positions is just as important. Start to bend the knee, release the strap, slowly, even if you want to be like, oh, I just want to put my foot down, slowly bring the foot to the earth. Take a breath there before you make any other movement after that. And then we have what we call a rebound period. So sometimes rebound is stillness, but for me, rebound is what you need. So if we're learning through yoga to listen into our bodies, the whispers, the screams, what do you need right now in this next minute? To be still, to stretch, to roll around, something else? Touch, massage is very much part of Yin and the holistic approach. That's how we can explore parts of the body where we might be tense and tight. Then when you go for a massage and someone else explores it and you're like, whoa, when they hit a spot. Maybe there are spots like that that you can explore. From here, we're going to move to the other side. I really encourage you not to rush straight into it. So even though we know where we're going, I'm going to bring that left knee in, give it a little squeeze. I'm going to take our strap round the foot. We breathe in to draw the knee in. We breathe out to slowly start to extend the leg. Have no expectation that one side will feel the same as the other side. Shoulders and elbows to the earth. Soften the face, soften your grip slightly if you can. So this position can be done without the strap, but the strap is there just as a little bit of support. When you feel that you've found the position for now, because you know we're moving energy, things might change, take a nice deep breath in now. Typically in autumn, we look at more of the upper body in Yin and traditional Chinese medicine. It is important to think about stretching and opening the whole of the body in autumn and winter. So we might be outside less, walking around less. And we tend to, our posture tends to change. So if you think about when it's cold outside, sometimes like we lift our shoulders up to our ears, we're kind of hunching our spine a little bit. It's like, oh, it's a little bit cold. So we want to maintain some of that openness of body. One way we can do it is through Yin Yoga, other types of movement, swimming. You pick what you feel is best for you. Just over a minute left. So you in the position that feels right for you. It's not always going to feel comfortable. We tend to use the word sustainable instead. Or do you feel like there could be a little tweak? Stay with that steady breath. Steady breath, steady mind, steady body. And slowly as you breathe out, start to release the leg. Pop the strap to the side, you don't need it anymore. Feet to the earth, take that breath. And then for our minute of rebound, what is your body saying to you? I need to stretch out, I need to draw in, I need to wiggle slightly. And sometimes we don't know. Western culture is, not great at telling us and helping us to be in contact with nature, with our bodies. And then from here, stay close to the earth, roll yourself over onto your right hand side. So like you were just rolling, snuggling in bed. Nice and slowly starting to lift yourself up. And we're going to meet in our butterfly position. So butterfly in Yin is different to Baddha Konasana or bound angle in Hatha. So this would be more of kind of a Hatha angle, so it's quite strong. We're going to take our heels away from our feet. And you can, if you wish, have a little bit of support behind the thighs, particularly if you're folding forwards. So as you fold forwards, then you're going to put a little bit more pressure there. I'm going to take it into a forward fold. So breath in, and as you breathe out, just starting to bring the chin into the chest. Another option is that you could place your bolster in an angle, rest your head. So moving away from that idea of how can I do this best? What would be the biggest and the best expression? We don't care. What would feel like the nicest expression? How could I balance feeling relaxed and calm with also an openness of my body? And again, we're going to take those 3 minutes here. If the voice in your head or your body naturally goes to kind of pulling, pushing, we're engineered for that, it's like this whole hustle culture that we live in. Let's get away from that and go to actually softness. I don't need to push, I don't need to pull, I don't need to fight. Here in this space, I can be soft. 2 minutes left. Just noticing where the mind drifts to. Drawing it back in, if needs be. And at the beginning of our yoga journey, that can be, almost kind of like, it's relentless. But as we practice different forms of yoga, mindfulness, meditation, mantra perhaps, so repetition of word or sentence, we might find that our mind is a little bit more peaceful. Less than a minute here, so try not to fidget, but is there anything that you would change, or is your edge met? The exhale breath is the breath of release. So that could be physical release, that could be mind release. Don't be afraid to breathe loudly if you just need to. Last couple of breaths. As you breathe in, start to unravel, just popping your bolster to the side if you've used it. Breathe out with a longer spine. Let's bring the knees together. You might extend the legs. Again, this minute of rebound. You might feel like after folding forwards, you want a bit of an opposite and you want to open through the heart. So you put the hands behind you, fingers face away. Just lift through the heart space, like we're drawing the shoulder blades together. It might be stillness. You might find there's a bit of sway or movement. Let's bring the chin to the chest, walk the hands back in. We're going to take the knees over to one side as we come onto hands and knees from there. So not strictly part of yin, but we're just going to have a little bit of intuitive movement. So we might just take the hips from side to side. Maybe the head shifts to the opposite side to the hips. Maybe it's the same. Listen to your body. Can we be slow with it? So it might be like one deep inhale takes us to one side. The exhale takes us over to the other. Take it where you wish from there. It could be rocking forwards and backwards. It might be more circular motion. It might be a little bit of cat and cow, opening into the heart and then into the spine. Keep the hands where they are. We're going to start to walk the knees back. So keeping the knees and the hips in line if you can. Let's drop down onto the elbows. Seat will shift up nice and high. At this point, we could take a block, just let the head rest on block or bolster. If you wish, you could start to slide the fingers towards me. Leave the elbows on the earth. So there is a version where we take the elbows away, but that's not for yin. The forehead might meet the earth. The seat stays nice and high. If you feel like that is really quite a lot, which it is, you could use the bolster and just have the bolster to rest your chin or perhaps your chest on. So it just gives you a bit of extra space in between that coming down to the earth. You could cross the arms and catch hold of opposite forearms. We're going to be here for 3 minutes. So really encourage you in kind of the first 20, 30 seconds to explore what you think is going to be right for you. This is a really good autumn yin position. So working into the heart, the lungs. If it becomes too intense, one way you can work with this is to take the elbows wider. You can always walk yourself out. Take a couple of breaths and then come back into it. If it feels like it's tricky on the knees, it might be that you need to pop a blanket under the knees. And remember that, you know, some shapes on different days, sometimes on different cycles, our body might be like, oh yeah, this is delicious. Other days, other cycles, it might be like, oh gosh, this one just doesn't feel quite right. If your body is screaming, no, I really hate this, or even if in your mind you just, I just don't want to be here, don't be there. Part of our practice is, you know, enjoying it. Yeah, we can be gently challenged, but we also want to enjoy it. Halfway there. Softening the face, the shoulders, getting this really long extension through the spine and open into the front body. Use the breath, use your intention or your tool if you need to. Just over a minute here. So have you found that position that feels right? Do you need to take it back a little bit? Is there more space? Less space over time? And some days the mind may be really busy. Others, we might find it easier to find some space between the thoughts and a sense of calm and peace. Last couple of breaths. Again, we move slowly away from this. We start to slide the elbows in. We lift the gaze. We plant the hands. Come through tabletop. You might want to use a bolster in between the legs for this, or a block. And just sit back into a high kneel position. Take your breath. And then what is your rebound? It might be stillness. It might be that you feel like you need a little gentle twist. Soften the face, the shoulders, the belly. You might take a little bit of movement with the head and neck. Have a wiggle of the jaw. A lot of tension, anger can be held in the jaw, neck, these shoulders. Just loosen through those areas. And then we're going to take a nice little counter pose. So we're going to come into child's pose. To be kind of a true counter pose for where we've just been, we probably come into our knees together, because this gives you a much more round spine. For me, like, my body's like, I don't really like that version. Try it, see what you think. If you prefer, you could take the knees wider. So the spine is longer here rather than forward folding. But you find what is best for you. It can be nice to hug a bolster. You bring the bolster kind of up towards the groin space so that the chest rests on it. So have a little play around. Pull that out a little bit, that's okay. Yeah, so you can do this one. Yeah, perfect. Nice deep breath in and out when you're there. Start to let everything soft. And it can be hard to let things be soft, loosen our grasp on things. I'm quite a control freak, self-proclaimed. Sometimes I find it hard to loosen my grasp. So this sensation of kind of just, with each little breath out we take, the front body is just melting into the earth. If child's pose isn't comfortable, it's really oversold in yoga as like, oh yeah, it's so comfortable, it's so restorative, it's so restful. Not true, because how can we possibly say that for everybody? You might want to lie on the back of your body. You could bring the knees into your chest. You could take a strap across the shins, and that would be more of a reclined version of child's pose. 2 minutes left. Perhaps an opportunity to revisit that kindness. Maybe there's someone that you know that could really use a little bit of kindness right now. Slightly more challenging, but maybe there's someone who has annoyed you a bit, or you're a bit like about at the moment, perhaps you can extend your kindness to them. You know, we've all got stuff going on all the time, haven't we? Not that it's an excuse to be unkind, but maybe sometimes people just need to be greeted with a little bit of kindness. Last minute. Steady breath. Last couple of breaths here. Just using the hands in the earth, slowly push it away from you as you start to rise up. Give yourself a breath. And then that opportunity for rebound. So for me, but it doesn't have to be for you, I'm just going to change my position, give my legs a bit of a stretch. Again, you've just been kind of forward folding, so it might feel right for you to come into the heart and lift the chest. You might just gently take the toes from side to side, give them a wiggle or a stretch. And from here, we're going to find a position that feels okay for a short mindfulness practice. So really, we want the spine to be nice and long. You could have legs crossed, legs in butterfly. Use our blocks if you want a bit of support. If you want to, you can shuffle towards a wall and sit with the spine on the wall. So take a little minute. Make sure you're warm enough. You can always pop the blanket around your shoulders. And a meditation seat isn't always comfortable. So the practice of movement is to free up space to allow us to sit more comfortably. So believe it or not, the purpose of yoga is not the handstand or the headstand. It's a little bit deeper than that. And you might come back to bringing the hands to the heart. We use things called mudra, which are hand gestures. There are feet gestures as well. Our whole practice is a body gesture. So we could bring the hands together. This is balance of energy. It's also called Anjali Mudra or Namaskar, which is a salutation. Or you might just rest the hands elsewhere. Closing the eyes or softening the gaze. We're going to draw back when necessary to our kindness, our word, our anchor. So we don't have to spend the whole of the next couple of minutes just solely focused on that, but we know it's there so that when the monkey mind starts to take us away elsewhere, we take a deep breath and we remind ourselves of our anchor. We come back to being present. Might feel like 2 seconds, 2 years. Just do your best. No right or wrong. Another minute here. Keep your focus. Always be external noise, internal noise, to see if you can maintain that calm. Take a nice deep breath in and out. Well done. So you might keep the eyes closed or have a soft gaze. As we exhale, spine stays long. Just going to let the chin come down to the chest, stretching out through the back of the neck. As you next inhale, you're going to start to come through center, take the chin up to the sky. You might find that you naturally want to open the lips, stretching through the throat space, so stimulating our throat chakra, the Vishuddha. As you exhale, let's drop the right ear over to the right shoulder. Don't force or push it. Inhale to center. Exhale, left side. And inhale to center. And start to have a little sway of your body from side to side. So be loose with the movement. Maybe you circle with your movement. Or perhaps you're opening up into front of body and back of body. A little bit of seated cat-cow. See if you can keep it nice and slow. And then we're going to bring ourselves down onto the earth. So have a little sip of your drink if you've got one. Bring your props with you. So you might want to have the bolster near to you. We're going to work with one block. So one of our brick blocks, if you have that close by. Just really nice and gently bring yourself down onto the mat. Knees bent, feet to the earth. That allows the whole of the spine to come down. If you feel like your body is just ready for rest, then you could extend the legs and take Shavasana. From here, I'm going to press into the feet. Just lift the hips towards the sky. Take your brick block, lowest level. Any lower back issues, you might even want to just use the lower block than that. We'll pop it to the base of the spine. So a little bit of a supported bridge position. And you could keep the soles of the feet to the earth. Another option here is that you could start to extend the legs. The heels stay onto the earth. So you could see how that feels. Again, if it's something that you think, it's not really one for me, then just pop the feet back to the earth. We're not going to take 3 minutes here. Just going to take a minute here. Let the eyes close. Let the breath soften. If you extended the legs, slowly bend the knees, pop the feet to the earth. We'll push through the feet, breathe in, lift the hips. Take that block away, breathe out, lower the spine. And just a short rebound here. Your body might feel like it wants to take a twist, which is where we're going anyway. Let's press the feet to the earth. Just slide the bum to the left. Let the knees drop right. See if you can keep the upper body nice and open. If there's space and it feels okay, you might take the arms wider. Some people like having palms down to the earth, other people palms to the sky. You could drop the head and gaze in the opposite direction to the knees. That's completely optional, always what works for you. Again, we're going to take a minute here. So this is a supine twist. Supine is lay down. And we could incorporate this into part of our practice where we take 3 or 4 minutes at a time. Today, we're just going to take a minute on each side just to gently wring out and neutralize the spine. Halfway there. Let's bring the knees and the gaze back to center. Pop the feet to the earth. Take a breath. And then just shuffle and slide your way over to the opposite side. Soften with the exhale. A minute on this side. Any external or internal distraction that you meet it with kindness, meet it with a deep breath, and then come back to your intention, your focus, your anchor. The knees and the head return to center, feet to the earth. Take a deep breath. And from here, is there anything else that would feel right for you? It doesn't have to be a yoga shape. You know, movement is movement, whether that's physical, whether that's moving with energy. We might have a stretch, a roll around, a little massage. Any areas of the body that we're like, oh, that one was a little bit tough on that area. If in doubt, just giving yourself a little massage around the jawline can help to soften your face and also soften any kind of heightened emotions of anger or tension in the face. And then let's get into Shavasana. Maybe it's feet to the earth, maybe it's legs extended. Maybe it's rolling onto the side of the body. If you prefer, you could roll to the side and come to a seat. Take your time. Use your eye pillow if you wish, especially if you're a person who kind of needs like the black in order to relax. You can also pop the eye pillow on your forehead. That can feel quite nice, just a little bit of extra weight. Make sure you're warm enough. Take a deep breath, and as you exhale, just feel the body soften to the earth. Nothing to do now but rest. And actually, sometimes rest is really difficult. We're a person who is used to being on the go all the time, just this sense of coming to ground and being might feel unnatural, it might feel uncomfortable. But I encourage you to embrace it. You're safe here. You're welcome. Just take these final few minutes to soften. Exactly where you're meant to be. Just beginning to deepen your breath. As As you exhale, an opportunity to release and leave here anything you don't want to take out with you. We regularly cleanse the space, so we can just cleanse that away. And starting to be aware of the sound of the chime. Almost as if it's guiding you back into your body. As you slowly bring some movement to the body, reawaken. Just be mindful of what and who is in your space. Lull yourself over to the side of the body that you feel calls you. And just take a moment. Push into the earth and slowly start to bring yourself up into a comfortable seat. So sit nice and tall, and you could bring the hands back onto the heart space. You could join the palms together. And we finish our practice just with a single chant of Om. Om is the primordial sound, the first sound. It's a vibration, so don't worry too much about whether you can sing or not. You could if you prefer. We take a breath in, and as we breathe out, we Om. So inhale. Om. Inhale. Exhale. Drop the chin to the chest. Bow to yourself. Thank yourself. We bow to each other. And of course, I thank you for trusting me, for joining me. The light and dark in me honors the light and dark within you. Namaste.